Network. We're establishing a front line of conservative radio broadcasters and ironclad patriots to declare war against the madness of liberalism and the Obama administration. Are you tired, as I am, about the disregard for our Constitution? Do you still have faith in the American dream? Are you looking for sensible, smart radio? If so, listen to the Conservative Commandos Radio Network every weekday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on WNJC Radio 1360 a.m. or around the world on the internet at WNJCradio.com. Check out our websites, ConservativeCommandosRadioNetwork.com and CCRN.com for rebroadcasts and network updates. We are the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, where even more newsmakers go to be heard.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stockings. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world on the internet, we're coming to you live from the CCRS studios, WNJC 1360. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with your host, Rick Trader. The Conservative Commandos radio show, where the newsmakers go to be heard. You can call the Conservative Commandos radio show at 856-227-1360. Your opinion counts at 856-227-1360.
This is Congressman Alan West, and you're listening to the Conservative Commando radio show.
Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Anna Little and Rick Trader. And for rebroadcast of our shows, check out our websites, ccrshow.com or ccrsnetwork.com. Or at 9 a.m. in the morning, log on to Leading Edge Radio Network. At 1 p.m. in the afternoon, roarradio.net. Or at 6 p.m. in the evening, log on to thepunditpress.com. You can also hear our show any time of the day from your telephone by calling 832-999-1199. Our next guest is Greg Bannister. He's the editor at MRC TV. He's also responsible for all CNSnews.com media relations, public relations, and marketing programs. And prior to joining CNS News, he served as the communications manager for the Intelligent Transportation Society of America. And Craig has spent his career managing communications, public relations, media, and member relations for nonprofit organizations such as the National Automobiles Dealers Association. And he tells me he never got a car from them. I don't think that's fair. But Craig Bannister, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Hi, always a delight to be here, especially the day after a debate.
Well, and I wonder anymore, Greg, why people tune in to these debates, especially when you got as many candidates as there was, especially when they're hosted by organizations like CNBC. Do you think that people are tuning in to learn something about these candidates, or hoping that it's going to turn out to be a freak show like it was last night?
Well, Rick, why do people, why are they drawn to watching car accidents?
There you go.
It's like watching a movie with a bad ending for a second time.
Mm.
You know, you already know you're going to be disappointed by it. So it's surprising. They've apparently got a record number of viewers for CNBC. The bar, I guess, is set pretty low, but I guess they feel that's. I don't know if they were going for ratings or if they're really just that much in bed with the liberal agenda that they don't care how they look as long as they advance their guys. I don't know.
Well, I thought there was some pretty entertaining spots, and this morning, as I just mentioned to our audience, one of the first things I do in the morning is I open my computer to find out what news is there, and there was a couple interesting, or actually 3 interesting articles by Brittany Hughes from MRC TV about the reaction by the candidates after the debate. And for instance, Donald Trump said the media went after the moderators and at the GOP debate. And Ben Carson said that the media has a secular, progressive agenda. But then you got John Kasich, who says, I was very appreciative of CNBC's moderators. So it's...
Well, it's an interesting counterpoint. He says they did a very good job. But he also goes on to say that that's because I had time to talk.
Okay.
And when Hot Air posted our video of Whitney's interview there, they were kind enough to crunch the numbers and shows that Kasich got more talking time than Trump, more than Carson, and more than Bush, and a few others. So you could see why he'd be happy.
Well, Donald Trump says, and has in Brittany's articles, much tougher than the questions that Hillary Clinton got. The media really went after the moderators for asking biased questions during the event.
Well, I think you definitely you're seeing that even left-wing media sites are starting to circle the wagons after this, and Ben Carson he told us he thinks it's gonna take a lot of this before things will actually change. A lot of the candidates standing up to the moderators and the networks.
And then Ben Carson's comments, and Senator Marco Rubio and Senator Ted Cruz called out the moderators from the stage for asking slanted questions to pit candidates against one another.
Well, I did. I have a blog up on the site right now from a statement put out by Cruz's people, by Cruz, where he's basically saying he is declaring war on the liberal media bias, and more than that, he lists some of the really insulting questions that the Republicans were asked here. They ask, "Are you a comic book villain? Can you do math? Will you insult 2 people over here? Why don't you resign? And why have your numbers fallen?" And Cruz is saying, what's up with this?
Well, also, what people didn't see is some of the things that was going on behind the scenes. I have an article here that at one point during the debate, Jeb Bush's campaign manager, Danny Diaz, began pounding on the control room door, shouting at the CNBC producers about how the network wasn't giving equal time to all the candidates. I would have loved to see that on TV.
That would, I think that would make some interesting theater. Now, the night before the debate, they had a media event. We were also at a media party where Lindsey Graham was behind the bar doing shots and drawing beers for members of the media. So apparently there's a lot of fun to be had out there too in Boulder.
Well, and then another thing here, the Washington Free Beacon wrote the winners of the GOP debate so far was Jake Tapper and Anderson Cooper. Now, I didn't think that they did a great job, but I guess according to the Washington Free Beacon, they certainly did a better job than the moderators last night.
Well, again, the bar is set pretty low, and it'll be interesting to see what's coming next. Now, I don't know if you saw it. We just grabbed the video and are about to put up a blog on it here at MRC TV. But apparently, Carson is going to be having a conference call this afternoon with some of the other candidates, and drawing up a list of demands for how they are to be treated in the next GOP debate.
Well, Greg Bannister, do you think it's time for the GOP to buy their own airtime and to air their own debate rather than going to CNBC, MSNBC, CNN, or even Fox? Because I'll tell you, the type of debate I would like to see is a real Lincoln Douglas type debate. Let the candidates question each other. Let's get these silly, stupid questions out of the way by these moderators. For instance, one of the questions last night was about fantasy football, and it was Chris Christie who pointed out we're talking about fantasy football. You know, we're $19 trillion in debt. We have people out of work. We have ISIS and Al-Qaeda attacking us, and we want to talk about fantasy football?
Well, yeah, I was glad to hear him say that, but I've got to say I'm more impressed with your idea. With the debate, just we could have a conservative cage match. Just let them go at each other. We don't need any moderators at all. Let them talk it out.
I agree. Hey, you know what? We can host this right here in WNJC. You can be the moderator, okay?
Well, it sounds like it's going to be an easy job if I'm just going to stay out of the fray. So,
well, that's all you have to do. You stay out of the fray and make sure no punches are thrown. Because we don't want any broken microphones or computers here. Hey, Greg, we have to go to a break. Could you hold on for just 2 minutes, please?
Absolutely.
And you are listening to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Anna Little and Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network, WNJC 1360, our flagship station in Philadelphia, and around the world on the internet with CPR Worldwide Media, Leading Edge Radio Network, TalkStream Live, The Pundit Press, SHR Media, K98 Talk, iHeartRadio, Roar Radio, and AM/FM 24/7. Check out our website, ccrshow.com and ccrsnetwork.com. Our guest this segment is Craig Bannister from MRC TV and CNSnews.com. Be right back.
They say I'm nasty, but
The Conservative Commandos radio show is expanding to become the Conservative Commandos Radio Network. We are establishing a front line of conservative radio broadcasters and ironclad patriots to declare war against the madness of liberalism and the Obama administration. Are you tired of the disregard for our Constitution? Do you still have faith in the American dream? Are you looking for sensible, smart radio? If so, listen to the Conservative Commandos Radio Network every weekday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on WNJC Radio, 1360 on your AM dial, or around the world on the internet at WNJCradio.com. Check out our website, ccrsnetwork.com, for rebroadcasts and network updates. We are the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, where now even more newsmakers go to be heard.
Hi, this is Bob Vide, owner of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glassboro, New Jersey. I've had the opportunity to travel in many foreign countries, and I've seen what happens to people when they lose their freedom. I wrote this poem. Give us freedom was the cry as they marched throughout the night. At Concord Bridge in Trenton, for freedom they would fight. To build a nation that would last with peace and liberty, it is a job that's never done if we are to be free. They wrote a declaration to announce that we are free. Then a